I'm going to look at two different aspects in self-protection. One to do with behavioural detection. So three aspects of that, and three aspects of within our hostile reconnaissance. And I know that sounds a bit sort of military-ish, but it's what the bad guys are doing out there when they're looking for targets. When they're choosing you as a target, they will be doing hostile reconnaissance on you. And within that, we're going to look at three aspects of pattern recognition. We need to be understand how people choose us as a target. So how are you being chosen as a target? What are you doing wrong that makes you an easy target? We want somebody else to go and be attacked. However nasty that sounds, that's what we want. We don't want ourselves. I don't want you to be attacked. So I'm going to look at three different aspects of two different things. Behavioural detection. So I'm going to look at three aspects of that. I'm going to look at three aspects for pattern recognition. So the first thing I'm going to look at is eye contact. So three different aspects, and three seems to pop up a lot. We've got 3 seconds to decide one of three things. Is somebody attracted to us, or is somebody wanting to attack us, and are we under surveillance? And we can do this through understanding this part of body language through eye contact. And with this, we're looking at close range, within a couple of meters. My personal range, handshake range, plus your handshake range. So we've got a couple of meters distance. Now within that, we've got roughly 3 seconds before somebody's walked past us or walked out of that range, where we can look at the eyes, and I'll explain in a minute with these three different types of looks. We need to understand, like I said, are they attracted to you? So are they attracted to you physically? Are they attracted to you, the clothing you're wearing? Is it something nice, something smart, something different? Are you carrying something that's attracted them to your presence? So within this then, and I'm sure you've done it, I've done it, where you're looking around and you catch somebody's eye. It's just that furtive glance where you've just caught somebody's eye. Most people look away or they just turn their heads. Myself, I just normally go, hi, how you doing? Carry on. And if it happens once and we walk off, never see it again, great. That's just happenstance, isn't it? I'm going to come on to happenstance in a bit when we're looking at pattern recognition. So we've got that, okay, it was maybe attracted to something about me. So you've got to ask yourself, okay, what am I carrying? What am I doing? The second type of look we're looking at, and we said, are they wanting to attack you? So is somebody fixated on you? Are they staring at you? For longer again than that 3 seconds as you're walking, or you're walking past them, you're walking towards them, you see somebody sitting on a windowsill maybe, you see somebody leaning against the wall, waiting to cross the road, but they're fixated on you and they're looking at you. So are they challenging you? So when we're looking at people staring, being fixated, and they're not blinking, they're not looking away, it's that stare that is challenging. Are they trying to dominate you? Are they trying to get you to respond? If you look away quickly and you look nervous, that's you telling them that you might be an easy target? So again, do you look at them, nod? Yes, I've recognized them. And what I see a lot of people who teach self-protection, self-defense, a lot of people say, don't make eye contact because you might escalate that situation. You might make them more aggressive. Absolute rubbish. You can look at somebody in a non-aggressive way that's not going to escalate that. You can't control their emotions, but you can look at them in a your body language can be non-aggressive. If you do it wrong, yes, definitely, it might escalate their emotions, but you can do it in a non-aggressive way. So, are they wanting to attack you? Are they wanting to challenge you? That could be part of surveillance. That, yeah, okay, they've looked away, they've walked off quite quickly. Are they afraid? Are they timid? Okay, that's a possible easy target. So again, target acquisition. Are they dominating you? The third part is if we're under surveillance. So if I've just glanced at someone and they glance back and they're looking at me and then they look away, so I might go, okay, I'm going to glance at them again. I'm going to keep looking at them again. Do they turn around and see if I'm watching them? Does that happen once, twice? If it happens more than twice, where they look away, so there might be, I don't know, let's take the old war spy type movies where somebody's reading a newspaper. So if I'm reading my journal here and I'm looking up and somebody catches me and I'll look back reading again. So if you're looking at someone and they keep looking away but then staring back and you keep catching that, if it's happening multiple times, it's a positive sort of note that they are watching you. Otherwise, you just do it the once and walk on. So we've got three different types of eye contact that we need to be aware of. Are they attracted to something about us? Do they want to attack us? And are we under surveillance? And like I said, we need to put this. I talk about clusters. The more I've got of more points I've got to justify, yep, I'm being targeted here. One thing is probably not going to point in that direction, but if I've got 5, 10, 15 different things that are all pointing to the same conclusion, it's giving me a heads up that I'm being targeted. So within pattern recognition, Ian Fleming, who wrote James Bond, he was part of the SOE, Special Operations Executive in the Second World War. He came out with 3 aspects, which he put into Goldfinger as well. I think it was Goldfinger. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's come out with 3 different 1, 2, 3 aspects of pattern recognition that fall into our hostile reconnaissance. If it happens once, it's happenstance. Remember the furtive glance that I talked about? So if somebody's looking away and they look at you and then they just look away and it happens and they've walked off, never see them again, happenstance. It's a coincidence. Yeah. If it happens twice, so if something happens twice, it could be coincidence, but there's now a pattern being set. So let's say you've glanced at someone or you've seen somebody looking at you and you've looked at them and have looked away. You see that person again. Let's say you go to a different location in town. You see that person again. And you may have not seen them before, but you've already looked at them. You might have taken in some item of clothing or the gait or the hair, whatever they're wearing, carrying, and you recognise it. I give people names as I'm walking along to help me remember that. If it happens again, and then again, it's setting a pattern, isn't it? So if it happens twice, it's setting a pattern, but it could be coincidence. That person might just be doing exactly the same as you're doing at the exact same time, and it's a coincidence. But there is now a pattern being formed. So once it's happenstance, that furtive glance, you might bump into somebody, say sorry, never see them again. But you might bump into that person, and then you might glance at them in a different location later on in that day. So there's a pattern being set, but it could still be coincidence. If it happens 3 times, that is enemy action. That is now out of question, out of the ordinary. Yeah, it's not coincidence anymore. So if you see that same person again, might have a different coat on, but you recognize them as the same person. If you see them again, different part of the day, different part of town. What about if it happened today, tomorrow, the next day, all in the same location, all at this? Let's say you're dropping your kids off. You see somebody standing on the opposite side of the road at school at the same time. You do it again tomorrow, they're still there. You do it the next day, they're there, and might never been there before. So once is happenstance, twice is a pattern being set, but it could still be coincidence. So once is happenstance, twice is coincidence. 3rd time is enemy action. There's a pattern now being set. Remember if you've watched my video on Cooper's color codes, we need to have a plan of action. So within code yellow, never code white or black. In code yellow, if I need to have a plan now in case I go to code orange. I need to have a plan now of what I'm going to do before I get to code red. All this is joining the dots together. I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, please drop a comment. I'll put a link to if you want my 10.5 tips on behavioral detection, pattern recognition to help you out. And I'll put a link on for all the new online workshops and live training that we've got coming up in the new year. My name's Rock Higgins. Stay dangerous.